Okay, everyone, buckle up because what you are about to witness could be the most startling scandal in daytime television history. Reputations are being destroyed and secrets are being exposed, so nothing will ever be the same again.
Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline.
What specifically did The View say that sparked this kind of controversy? What was the mic drop answer from Karoline Leavitt that caused ABC to go into full-scale damage control? The big question, is ABC really going to cancel? Since Karoline Leavitt turned their slander campaign into a $800 million legal inferno, The View has been in crisis mode. The show's senior hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny host, are desperately urging the young, unrepentant conservative powerhouse to halt the legal attack, but she is refusing to back down. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons on this video for more drama-filled exclusive updates. The View to save itself is something you won't want to miss. Subscription, excellent, let's get started.
Now listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The backstory is as follows. Karoline was attacked by The View. Leavitt again doing what they do best, which is to ridicule, denigrate, and make outrageous assertions. Joy Behar cleverly suggested that Karoline's success was more a result of Trump's perception of her than of her abilities or work ethic this time.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump.
Then going one step further, Whoopi Goldberg boldly and controversially claimed that Karoline wouldn't even be able to maintain a job or a place at the table without being woke. Her comments created a boundary and sparked contentious conversations in the sector.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women.
Yeah.
See, this is not black, Asian, this is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
This commentator said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
Finally, Sunny host further twisted the knife by suggesting that Karoline's career is entirely the result of privilege, and you could feel the anger growing in real time. Support for women, unless they are conservative, in which case it's open season, was best summed up in one widely shared comment. But this time, Karoline didn't keep quiet. Instead, she defended herself and retaliated forcefully.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
Instead of interacting with barbs on social media, Karoline isn't just protecting herself. She's targeting the entire media apparatus, which has The View's legal staff in a panic. They assert that conservative speakers have long been singled out by The View, and that this case might finally reveal their inner workings. Karoline immediately went to court and sued The View for an astounding $800 million, alleging that the presenters had slandered her, defamed her, and had maliciously tried to ruin her career. According to insiders, this is a drawn-out battle rather than simply another celebrity case. ABC administrators are reportedly solely responsible for fixing the harm, and it may be too late.
Hey, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage.
And it gets completely embarrassing at this point. Sources claim that the hosts are currently pressuring Karoline to accept a settlement in secret. The same individual who ridiculed her live on TV, Joy Behar, is now trying to save herself. To arrange a covered encounter, Whoopi Goldberg reportedly reached out to people they both knew. Sunny Karoline is refusing to back down as the once haughty, untouchable panel is now on its knees. Her fans are embracing her fight to make media behemoths responsible for what she says are years of careless attacks and smear operations. The host may be held personally liable for millions of dollars, according to experts, and her legal team is allegedly panicking. The greatest way to put it was in a single, extensively shared tweet. Every conservative wishes they could make The View pay for their lies, and Karoline Leavitt is doing just that.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women.
Meanwhile, ABC is in meltdown mode. Insiders claim that as major sponsors express their worries, network executives are in a panic, with some even considering taking The View's ads off the air. Let's face it, Joy's multiple controversies, Whoopi's prior suspensions, and the show's declining ratings have left The View operating on thin ice for years. This might be the final straw for ABC, which has apparently been thinking about canceling The Views for a while, if the hosts themselves are begging for the lawsuit to be abandoned. You are aware that the situation is dire. The network is in chaos, the show is in ruins, and Karoline triumphantly quits it. It's your time now. Do you believe Karoline has good reason to keep fighting? Is The View responsible for its irresponsible remarks? Will this be the scandal that puts a permanent end to the showdown? Before you go, don't forget to leave a comment with your opinions and to like and subscribe for the latest updates.